Hello, I wanted to talk about Greek philosophy a little bit. Let's dig in. Philosophy comes from two Greek words, philos, which means to love or to be friends with, and sophos, which means wisdom or knowledge. So philosophy literally means the love of wisdom. So we have Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. We have sophisticated from sophos. We have sophomore. Sophomore comes from sophos, as in wisdom, and moros, as in moron, so wise fool. Somebody who thinks they know everything and really doesn't know anything at all. Kind of checks out if you know any sophomores, no offense. So when we talk about Greek philosophy, we're usually talking about Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. And of course, Aristotle was the tutor of Alexander the Great, so that's quite a lineage right there. Socrates liked to ask questions. That's the Socratic Method. He would ask questions about all kinds of things. What is courage? Is courage jumping into battle like Alexander the Great did, jumping on top of the wall at Mali and getting shot in the lung with an arrow? Okay, maybe that's just stupid, trying to fight a city all by yourself because you think your dad is Zeus. So maybe that's not really courage. Maybe courage is thinking things through, being brave. But what does that really mean? Anyway, that's a discussion to have, and Socrates would have had that with his students. What is love? Oh, love is when you really like somebody and you get with them, and you know what I'm saying. No, dude. Okay, that's part of it. That's the physical part, but that's not really love either. Maybe there's more to love than just the physical part. These are great questions. Another one is, what is beauty? So, to illustrate this, how Socrates' method works, I talk about this with my students, and of course they're squirming because they're 7th graders. They don't want to talk about such a thing. So what's beautiful? What do you notice about somebody that makes them beautiful? And they talk about their eyes or their face or their body or hair or whatever it is. I keep asking questions to respond to their answers to really explore what they think beauty is. Okay, that's the physical type of stuff. But what about what's inside? There's got to be something more. What if somebody is really, really beautiful, like a 10, a hottie, but they kick puppies and they don't like babies and they drown kittens in a river or some horrible thing like that? And the kids all get this look of disgust on their faces. So I say, is that person beautiful then? Outwardly, yeah, but inside, they're a horrible, awful, terrible demon. And the kids kind of realize maybe there's something more inside that matters. Okay, so is it possible for somebody to be inwardly beautiful? What if you meet somebody online or through letters or texting and it's a friend of a friend and you message them for years? You never actually meet them, you fall in love with the person, and finally you meet them and you find out they're as ugly as a mailbox. And you're like, oh, that's sad. Well, it is what it is. So is that person still beautiful then? And the kids generally, thankfully, still say, yeah, even if a person doesn't look great, they're still beautiful. So that's encouraging, that they know beauty is not just outward, it's also inward. And most of the students come up with some idea that there's a combination of both things going on to make somebody beautiful. Anyway, that's one of the discussions. I continually ask questions every time, they respond, and pretty much every group of students goes down this path. But Socrates got in trouble. He also questioned the gods. He questioned traditional explanations for how the world worked. For example, the Greeks believed the sun was the god Helios riding across the sky in a fiery chariot. And Socrates would basically say, okay, but we can predict when the sun is going to rise. We can predict when the sun is going to set. It's always predictable. Now, we've got apps that tell us to the exact minute, but even back then, they knew it was predictable. So what if Helios decided to sleep in one day? What if he took a longer stroll across the sky and showed up late? That never happens. So is it really a god driving a chariot, or is there something else going on? And that's when people were like, whoa, Socrates. You can question love, you can question courage, you can question beauty, but questioning the gods, no. And that's where he got into some serious trouble. He was put on trial. The charges were corrupting the youth and not believing in the gods of Athens. Basically, they said, you're messing with our kids' minds and you're disrespecting our religion. He was found guilty by a jury and the punishment was death. Socrates had the chance to beg. He had the chance to apologize. He had the chance to say, fine, I'll stop. And he refused. He said, I did nothing wrong. So they gave him poison, hemlock, and he drank it. And that was the end of Socrates. Not good. Now, here's the thing. We would barely know anything about Socrates at all if it wasn't for one of his students, Plato. Plato wrote down his ideas, his conversations, and his teachings. So next, we're going to take a look at Plato and some of the most famous ideas in the history of philosophy. This is Have to Know History. Thanks for being here.